Advertise is where it's at. You know, it's like a drug. Once you get on the advertising feed, you got to keep it going. It might not sound like you're getting nowhere, but if you're not out there, you know, people don't know you. It works. Dwayne and Garth. You know, if you just do it, you know, people will come. But you got to advertise. You got to get your word out there.
Hey everybody, this is John Weller. I'm with Michael Reynolds of Michael's Flooring Outlet in St. Louis, Missouri. Michael is here visiting us in Sarasota at FloorForce headquarters, and we're pretty excited about the episode today to talk about how he has gone from 1 store to 4 stores, going to 6 stores. Pay attention, this is going to be good. Welcome, Michael. Welcome to Sarasota. Great. Welcome to FloorForce.
Good to be here.
Good to see you, my man.
My pleasure.
So, how you like Sarasota so far?
Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful.
Awesome.
Except for today, it's a little sticky out there.
Yeah.
Reminds me of back home.
Well, the good news is about the tropical weather here. It only lasts for about an hour, and then everything changes.
Nice.
And that'll happen 3 or 4 times during the day. So you still got hope for a good day.
Good deal.
So let's jump into this.
All right.
I have heard a whole bunch of things about your business from another partner of ours, Jason Goldberg at Retail Lead Management. But before we get to what I've heard about your company, what I want to talk about, tell me a little bit about your journey to inside the industry and then opening up your first store as a flooring retailer.
Well, I started out as a contractor and realized I didn't want to do that, and decided to open up a store. And so many people say you can't, but you can do anything you want to do. You just got to do it. And so that's what I did. I took a chance, $700, quit my job, and the rest is history. And this is where I'm at right now in Sarasota.
Dude, that's an awesome story.
Right.
So from there, you now have 4 stores.
Got 4 locations.
And that's quite the feat, going from $700, quitting your job. Now you have 4 stores. What would you say is the key to your success in the retail business?
Well, to begin with, I dig business. All right, I like it. You gotta like it. You gotta love it, right? You know, so you get out there, you take a chance, and really, it's all up to you. If you want something, you got to go for it. So I just started my business, and it was very hard. It's a roller coaster ride. Nothing's easy in life, but you got to get back up, do it again. This is how it. I think a lot of it starts with me. As an owner, you got to want it. You can have all kinds of staff and employees, but you got to direct it and make it work. And you got to, show them, help them, and do whatever you got to do. Go pick them up, to get them to the job, or you got to go do the job yourself. I mean, it's just unlimited things that you have to really do to make it work. It's not just one easy ingredient. It's like making a cake. It takes a lot of stuff to make it taste great, and made with a lot of love. And that's what it's about. There's no simple trick. It's just go for it.
And it sounds like you're a little bit passionate about what you do.
Oh, you got to be. I mean, I live, breathe, and eat this stuff. These circles underneath these eyes just don't come from not doing nothing. I really do care. I care about the people. I care about the industry, and I think with that passion, it just keeps pushing you further.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
So Jason Goldberg,
Jason.
The guy who founded Retail Lead Management, the CRM system in the industry, I know that you and he had a conversation. Jason called me and said, this guy Michael's really interesting. I'm actually going to fly to his store to help him set up his Retail Lead Management and CRM system. So I talked to him when he came back. And, Jason has probably worked with FloorForce on over 300 retail locations to set them up with a CRM. But he said something unique about your store and what he saw when he went there. I guess you guys got really deep in looking at things. He looked at your books and he came back and said, John, that guy is the most profitable retailer I've ever seen in the floor covering business. So I have to ask, what are you doing that helps you make such a healthy profit and maintain those profits in a time when a lot of people are talking about eroding profits because of e-commerce, the box stores, and things like that. What's your secret you're willing to share with us here?
Well, I think a lot of it is you do a lot of stuff yourself. I don't have a lot of staff. I mean, we're a $10 million company. I got 19 employees. Runs 4 stores. So run lean is what it takes. I mean, and I think you get the best results by that. A lot of hard work is I do a lot of the work. I care. I do the books. It seems like a lot of business owners, I'm in business now, and then they go out and buy big house, new cars, and they're never at work, So, and leaves your employees there to do what? There's no leadership. So you got to be a leader, you get places, and you just keep pushing forward. There's really not a secret to it, but you got to care. Nothing comes naturally. Advertise is where it's at. It's like a drug. Once you get on the advertising feed, you got to keep it going. It does work. It pays off. It might not sound like you're getting nowhere, but if you're not out there, people don't know you. It works. Dwayne and Garth. If you just do it, people will come. But you got to advertise. You got to get your word out there, and it just works for me.
Great. Well, that was the next thing I was going to talk about with you, because I know you are a big proponent of advertising. I also know that your media mix has been predominantly traditional. You and I have just started doing business together recently, and I'm excited about showing you someone who totally believes in advertising and has an advertising budget and understands it. I think making a little bit of a transition from traditional to digital is going to be really exciting for you, because you can see the results as they're happening and tweak, where with traditional, you run a campaign, you wait a minute, you see what happens, but you're not tweaking along the way. With digital, you can tweak as it's happening. But let me ask you this question. What you've told me you've done some unique things with your advertising, with yourself and your brand to draw attention to your company. Can you tell us like a couple of the funny things or things that you've done that you think are unique? Because I can tell you, in the day and age that we live in, I was just at a Google convention, and we were talking specifically about the flooring industry. Just in the last 12 months in the flooring industry, advertising spend on Google is up 61% in the flooring industry. So if that tells you anything, it's not just going to be enough to have a name of a store and say, I'm here. You're going to have to show yourself as unique, as competent, as professional, and get attention that will actually differentiate you from the masses. And I know that you have some ideas about some things. I know you're working on a current thing. So can you give us just a little bit of information about that?
Top secret stuff here.
Yeah, no, I know.
Basically, when I first started off, you really probably don't have a lot of money for advertising, but, and then you get everybody trying to hustle you, 25 years ago it was paper, print, and then, radio and television and cable. Well, I started off doing cable, which was awesome. People recognized, and then satellite came out, and then digital came out, and you start getting forgotten about. So I still do advertising with cable, and I still do network advertising, but I think the most important thing is radio is pretty good. Radio worked for me. People don't get in their car, they listen, they're more apt to tune in, where if you got television, people are clicking or they're fast forwarding through commercials. Heck, I don't even watch commercials. I really feel that when it comes to what's going on in this day and age would be, the Google marketing, Facebook, it's huge, and like John says, is you can dial it in. And that's the most important thing that you can do. I like to make fun of myself. I'm not afraid of it. I do crazy commercials, and it's just putting yourself out there. You're the business. You can either make it or break it. Nobody else is. So I think when it comes to doing things like that, make fun of yourself. We do, like I said, we do a lot of goofy commercials, and it's just people remember that kind of advertising. People don't remember price. They don't remember a color of a piece of carpet. They already know what they want anyway.
Right.
You know, so really an abundance, a great mix. It takes everything, you know. But I think if you're really truly focusing in this day and age, definitely Facebook. It's where it's at because, you know, as you can tell, I'm always on my phone. I'm always looking at something. Everybody's on their phone looking at something, and it's usually stuff that they want to look at, and that's how it works the best. You know, got to advertise.
Right. So you're not going to tell us about the content you're getting ready to produce. That's what I was trying to get out of you. But I get it. I get it. We'll have to wait until you launch this campaign, and then we'll see what you're doing.
I don't know nobody else to get it.
But you've told me some funny things.
Right.
Like I know you did something with Gene Simmons.
Yeah, I paid to meet Gene Simmons. Nothing's for free with that guy. So when I met this guy, you know, I was like, look, I'm trying to get people to come to work for me. And he goes, what do you mean? And you know, it's like, I can't find people that want to work. Nobody wants to work. I mean, you want to make $50,000, $100,000, $1 million, and everybody just overlooks that. And then he goes, you need to make a commercial and then tell people what you're offering, you know, tell people what you got, 401k, the everything that you're going to offer that employee, kind of like you're giving a pre-interview to the interview. And, you know, that's what we do. And you put it out there and people kind of listen to that, you know, it just puts it to mindset. So he had a great idea, you know, probably charges for this, you know, he charges for everything, you know, but yeah, Gene Simmons, you know, gave me a lot of advice, which worked out great for me, and I appreciate that. And that's about all right now.
Well, he definitely knows how to get attention.
That's for sure.
He learned, you know, they put the makeup on. I think they were the first band to do that. Mm-hmm. First concert I ever went to was Kiss.
Yeah,
I was about 13 years old.
Wow.
So somehow my mom dropped me off at the auditorium. Didn't know what I was going to. When I came out, we had brought an album, me and my buddy, and we showed it to Mom. This is what we just went to. My mother had a heart attack, and she's like, I had no idea that's what you were doing with the money I gave you at the auditorium. You know, things have changed, but he definitely was the king of getting people's attention.
Marketing.
Even back in the 70s and 80s. Yeah. So Michael, you've been in this now for a fairly long time. You've got 4 stores. I know you're getting ready to open even more stores. Yes, I think this time you said you're going to open 2 at the same time, which is very unique. What's your philosophy on opening 2 instead of 1 at this time?
I've been in business 25 years. I've got 4 locations. It took 13 years to get 4. In 2008, I decided when everybody was closing, I'd start opening and do the opposite. And that trend worked for me. And 2 stores, to me, it's easier to open 2 stores at the same time because you're already doing it. You're getting samples and supplies and talking to distributors and vendors and all the things that you got to do to create a business. So why not? It'd be like making an album and only writing 1 song. You know, you got to produce, you know, at least, you know, 8 to 10 good songs, and hopefully one of those are a hit. Right. So 2 stores, hopefully one of those are a hit. If not, I've got 2 hits, and then I'm consecutive right now. And then just kind of keep going for it. So my philosophy is there's just so much time wasted in opening up stores. Do 2 at a time, and you can get the stress out and over and done with.
Dude, that makes total sense. To be honest with you, when we're building websites, we actually build websites more productively. We get more done when we're doing multiple websites than when we do one-off. If we're doing 2 or 3 or 4 at a time, we watch designers go from the first website taking maybe 2 weeks, second website taking maybe 7 days, the third website's 2 days, and they really get into a groove if we're able to do things in scale. So that's an interesting concept. I can't wait to see how that works out. This has been awesome. Exactly what I envisioned when we talked on the phone from St. Louis. Sounds like you really dig your music, which is really cool. And I'm looking forward to seeing that secret campaign that we don't get to see until you launch it. Michael, thanks for visiting us. Mm-hmm. Can't wait to get working together. And we'll do another video in a couple of years to talk about your 10th and 11th and 12th store that we've done together.
Perfect.
All right?
Thank you.
Thanks for visiting, my man.
My pleasure.
Take care.